Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a short video as Deep Madness, as many of you may well know, has started to fulfill. Actually is most of the way through fulfillment, I think, just America is a little bit behind. I've posted quite a few photos of my miniatures painted on the Facebook page, and I just thought this would be an opportunity to just show you on video. Maybe you can get a better look at them, and also realise that you don't have to be the best painter in the world to make the figures look better, have a good table presence. I've said this on many of my videos before, I'm not the best painter in the world, far from it, but I tend to, on miniatures like this, apart from the hero miniatures, I tend to do speed painting, just basically get them done as fast as I can, which involves base coat, washes, dry brush, cut corners wherever I can, just to get them to the table so they look fairly good. So with that said, let's crack on with the few I have painted. At the moment I've painted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not the complete sets, but I've at least painted 6 different miniatures from the core set. So let's get straight on with that. So we'll begin with the smallest critter that comes with the game, and this is of course the Mind Eater. Really quick to paint. I think I did basically the whole lot in just an hour. I've just done a base coat, wash, and a very slight highlight. Now this is the one I've completed the most. The others are all pretty much complete, except I still have some final touch-ups to do on the teeth. Now what I've tried to do is, which I'll just show you with some of the others, there's one, I've tried to make some of them as sort of different, so they don't all look exactly the same. So all I've done is just done some, I mean that one's not hardly completed at all, it needs a bit of work doing to it. These all need the teeth doing, but you can see I've tried to go for different colours, different shadings. Let's just zoom out of it there so you can see. So they just got a little bit of table presence there, that they look different. Not that it makes any difference, but just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. So that's the Mind Eaters. Agony. Again, quick base coat, then a wash, I think with Seraphim Sepia. May have been Agrax Earthshade, I can't remember. Primarily I use Vallejo paints, Vallejo Game Colour. I tend to use Citadel oranges and yellows because I find they cover it a little bit better, and I use Citadel washes. Again, not too many highlights, just enough to give it a good look on the table. And again, I've done, made them slightly, not so much different these, but just slightly different highlights for different ones, different amount of wash. Maybe slightly different coloured wash, I can't remember on these, but again, they certainly look better than black plastic. I think you'll agree. And like I've said, you don't have to be the best painter in the world. This is just base coat and wash with a dry brush on top. Pick out a few bloody details, and you've got yourself a fairly decent miniature. That is the Agonies. The Ravenous. Again, I keep saying it, this super quick. I think I did all 8 of these in about an hour and a half. I just did a base coat of Bone White, Vallejo's Bone White. I then just did a wash of, on some, Agrax Earthshade. On others, Seraphim Sepia, just so they look slightly different. The tongue facial appendages, if you like, just some corn red and a little bit of highlighting on top with bloody red, just to make it stick out a little bit. To be honest, I could probably do with some more highlights on these, but what I'll do is, once I've finished all the miniatures and I get them to the table, at a later date I will come back and just do some, maybe some just more finer detail work. But at the moment I'm just concentrating on getting them to the table ASAP. You can see a slight difference there. I think this one is Seraphim Sepia, this one I use Agrax Earthshade. Sometimes I use Reikland Flesh Shade. It just creates a little bit of difference between the minis. So there we go. That is the Ravenous. Delirium. I've only painted one of these so far, and this is it. My plan was, because when they were grey plastic, I was tending to get mixed up between the Delirium and the Blind, so I wanted them to be completely different, which when you see the Blind, you'll realise they are completely different. My plan for this was to have a sort of reddish violety colour fading away, like blending in at the arms, but unfortunately that didn't work out. So I've ended up with basically 3 different shades of green. Just sort of blended around the arms. I just used a really wet, thin paint, splashed on some green, splashed on some lighter green, used another brush to just blend them together where they met, and just worked at it like that. That was it really. It's the only one I've done. The other ones I'll probably make slightly different, maybe just use a different coloured wash, but for all intents and purposes, that is it finished, and that's good enough for me. That's the Delirium. The Blind. Oh, this one was a bit of a problem for me. I really wasn't sure what to do. I just knew I wanted it to be different to the Delirium, although I painted this one first. My plan was to have some sort of albino looking effect, or albino, depending on where you're from. That sort of... What did I do? Basically, I started off by painting it completely white, pure white. And then my plan was to put a yellow wash on top and then try and do something with that. It didn't really work. So I ended up cleaning most of the yellow wash off. Then I put a wash of Cellophane Sepia on. Then I wasn't sure what to do with the sort of what's now painted green. Couldn't really see what it was supposed to be. It looks like its skin was splitting apart. So I decided, ignore what it shows on the character card. I'm just going to go for something that looks pretty horrific. And that's what I ended up with, I think. You can just zoom in there and see. So we've got a few little bits of blood poking out, ripped off skin, and then this bulbous green sac in the middle there. So it turned out, I was in 2 minds, but actually turned out okay. So I'm actually now quite happy with that. So that's the Blind. Putrid. One of these, this one you can tell is got gloss varnish on it, the other one is matte. I'm really not sure what I prefer. I don't know, gloss varnish, even though it sort of sits well with the game, and there should be like a globby mess and mucus filled, pus ridden monsters. To me it just looks a little bit toy-like, and I think you lose some of the detail. Having said that, the matte spray I use to seal this, because of the country I'm in at the moment, I don't know, it's the first time I've had a problem, and it became a little bit, I don't know, it went white, and you can see some of the colour definition is lost here. It created a white mist over the top. So yeah, I think I basically need to redo this one again, because it seems to, with the gloss, seems to have lost a lot of its shading. But at the end of the day, looking at them from the tabletop, said it a million times, I think they look pretty cool. So that's as far as I've got at the moment. I need to make a start on, well, I need to finish the Blinds and the Deliriums. Then I'm going to do the Hysteria and the Husk, and then and only then will I start on the let's just zoom out a bit, on the character figures, because I really want to spend a little bit more time on these. A little bit more time on the character figures, because I think they deserve a bit more love and attention, if you like. So that's what I'll do. So again, what I'm saying is I'm trying to get these to the table ASAP. I think in another week or so I'll be done, and then at a later stage I may come back and do some final touch-up. Maybe some more highlights, a little bit of extra detail work. So, thanks for watching. That's what I've painted so far of Deep Madness. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, keep posting your ones on the Facebook page, because I love to see other people's work, and I will steal some of it. So, thanks for watching. Bye for now.